Can you please tell me your full official name?
My full official name is Adiba, as it appears in my passport and other official documents.
Can you tell me something about your family?
Okay, so my family, we have in total 5 members. My mom and my dad and my sister who's married and my brother who's still going to grade 5.
Okay. What do you like doing when you are with your family?
We do a couple of things when we are together. Thing is, everyone's busy right now, so it's not like we can all stick together for the entire time. Sometimes my father stays late for work, so he can't even make it to the official dinners, but we make sure that at least twice a week, that is during the weekends, we have our dinner and lunch together. And I like to watch the late night news with my dad, and I like to help my mother with her chores and other cooking.
Okay, let's talk about health and exercise. What sorts of things do you like to do to keep healthy?
There are a lot of things that I do to keep healthy. When it comes to exercises, I am kind of athletic, so I kind of rely on the school exercises to keep myself healthy. Like I do basketball, so usually every day we have to arrive about 15 to 20 minutes before the school ground so they can make us do warm up and do other sorts of things in the school. And sometimes when I am feeling really green and healthy, I wake up and do a little yoga myself. And I make sure I do at least 15 to 20 minutes of cardio before I go to bed.
What other sorts of things are popular in your country to keep healthy?
There are a lot of things that people do in my country to be healthy, especially the young people nowadays. We go out on morning walks whenever they're trying to maintain a routine or vision. So some old people actually do that too, especially with people who are diabetic. The diabetic people, when I usually wake up early to go out to have a walk, I see there are a lot of old men and women who are doing laughing exercises and other sorts of exercises to keep them healthy. And there are other things that people do because there are a lot of people who are from the Hinduism religion, so as their religion recommends them to have vegetables, they usually do have vegetables, and that is actually pretty healthy.
Good. What sorts of exercise do you not like doing?
I don't like doing push-ups, even though my instructor is always telling me to do push-ups. I just cannot do it. And I think, according to me, exercises should be fun instead of being very tiring. So when the instructor is imposing things on me, like lifting weights and doing squats and all those other things, it is pretty frustrating. I like my exercises to be fun, the kind of exercise that I can do like aerobics and other cardio. They're actually fun, and we're doing it with music in the background. Those kind of exercises are my thing, but tying ones are just
How can we get young people to do more exercise?
We can, and we actually are getting more people to do exercise nowadays because they're more health conscious these days. As a part of the school program, many schools actually have the gym class in their school routine inclusive. So what that does is the children are forced to do exercise about 15 to 20 minutes exercises. The question was to not tell about how to inspire children to be more involved in this, but how to get them to do it. So I guess school program, including that program, school is one of the best ways.
Okay, let's talk about music. What is your favorite type of music and why?
My favorite type of music is, it's a tough question, but I guess if I had to choose a favorite type of music, it would be the pop music, because I've been hearing a lot of pop, and my favorite singer is a pop singer, and I am always listening to pop, and it's one of the most fresh form of music that can keep anyone occupied.
Do you think that the country's traditional music is more important for its culture?
Yes, obviously, a country's traditional music is very important for its culture because when a country is producing music, they're usually producing music that is relevant to their culture. For example, my mother is a singer and she's usually singing songs about the country and about other things that's happening. So from her, what I've learned is she always keeps telling me that a country's music is just not, you cannot do without a country's music because that country's music is actually showing what that country is going through. For example, when we had our independence war, a lot of music was actually produced at that time. And for us, the generations that came after the war, we had no ways of actually knowing what happened except for going to other sources like music and reading books. And that music, when I listen to them, I still get goosebumps because that shows what our country went through. So I think for future generations, the music that's producing now will be a good example.
Why do people's taste in music often change as they get older?
Well, I think people listen to music to feel good. And for example, when I listen to music, I'm trying to relate my situation to the music. So when a kind of song has the things that I have in mind, and when that matches, I feel good. For example, right now, I want to hear songs about my friends or my school days or about something else. But when I grow up and I'm more involved with other things, other from friends about life in general, spiritual concepts, I would want to hear music that's relating to that. So yes, with age comes maturity, and with maturity comes different taste. So
What are some of the different uses of music in your country?
there are different uses of music. For example, people make their living based on music. When people are involved in music, it just does not mean that they're going to sing. There are people who are playing the instruments, there are people who are producing the music, and there are people who are writing the lyrics and producing the music. So there are a lot of professions that are relying on music. And for teenagers and youngsters, there are a lot of competitions that are going on, which are making them more musical, I guess. And they're, apart from that, one of the main reasons.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to give you a card. On the card you'll find a topic, and you'll also find some guiding questions. Based on that, you have to prepare one for 1 minute, and you have 1 minute time to take notes. Would you like to start now?
Yeah, sure. Favorite television. Okay, so I'm asked to talk about a favorite film or a television program. Right now, I'm thinking about a lot of television programs or movies that I really like, but one is particularly standing up to me. It's called Suits. It's a TV show, and they broadcast it like, every 2 days, and it's about a law firm. There are two protagonists, and they're usually fighting the evil, and they're doing crimes, and they're dealing with a lot of bad people. But at the end of the day, they're saving the world, and that's what we like to see. So it is a pretty educational kind of a show where it's pretty realistic, if you tell me. I don't usually get a lot of time to watch it, so I can't really watch it when they air it in the television, so I just download the episodes, and I watch it, say, in the weekends, or when my school is over early, or situations like that. Like I said, they are fighting the crime in that movie, and I particularly like it very much because from my childhood, crime is something that I've always detested. I just cannot stand when justice is being compromised. And that movie, that TV series, is actually pretty inspirational. And I think if everyone's watching it on a daily basis, they will want to stand up and do something against all the wrong that's happening in the world.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's talk about TV and radio. Why do you think television has become so popular over the last 50 years?
Television is one of the latest renovations because people just don't want to hear now. People want to be able to see and enjoy it visually. For example, the radio will describe a situation and people will get different images in their head. But when it's in television, they're actually seeing it and they're directly enjoying it. For example, when people landed over to the moon, when Neil Armstrong landed to the moon and it was broadcasted in the radio, there was not as much excitement as it was when it was broadcast on television, because people could actually see the live telecast of what was happening in there. Along with the popular demand of movies and other TV shows that allows us directly to see the things that's happening, it's becoming quite popular.
Okay. So do you think that there is still a future for radio with television being so popular?
Well, yes, there is, because there are a lot of people in the world who don't have time to watch television, but they still want to rely on some form of entertainment For example, you cannot watch a TV when you're driving, but you can tune in to your radio when you're driving. So for people who are missing the morning news because they can't watch it on the television or they don't have time to flip open the pages of the newspaper, for those people, radio is pretty quintessential.
Right. Which is better for presenting the news, television or radio?
This is a kind of a contradictory matter because some people would want to enjoy television while others would want to enjoy the radio. Like I mentioned before, there are people of different class groups and different work groups. So for people who are always available at home or who could return home before the news time, they could watch it in the television. But for some people who do not have time at all to watch the news daily, they could always just listen to it on the radio. So I guess for different class groups and different work groups and different work ethics people.
How can you stop young people today watching too much television?
I don't think you can stop young people from watching too much television because if you're imposing rules on them, they're not going to listen to it. But if there are other forms of entertainment found out that are better to them than the television, like something innovative, or if the parents are careful enough and they make a routine from the beginning, from when they're actually turning into, like young adults. So if the family has a ritual in their house, like something that they want to do in their off period apart from television, and they can actually inspire the young people and make it look more fun than television, that is the only way for young people to start watching TV.
Okay, let's talk about films and cinema. Can you compare television and cinema as form of entertainment?
Yes. The thing is, when you're watching a movie outside, like you said, in a cinema, then there is a theatrical aesthetic to it. Like if you're watching the movie in a huge screen, in a dark room with plenty of people around there and high definition, and there's a lot of sound, it seems almost real, which is why obviously the cinema industry is so popular. But when you're watching it at home, then some people don't have huge televisions, so for them, they're going to have to watch movies at a small TV, so they don't get the entire TV experience. So I guess, yes, cinema is quite different from television.
Do people in your country prefer American films or films from their part of the world?
My country has people from different generations, obviously, and different tastes. But I think the older generation will prefer watching the TV shows that are originated from our country, while the younger generation will want to watch the American movies because with the change of time, their perspectives are more Western than Eastern right now. But the parents are still very Eastern, so I guess they would like to watch the TVs that are, broadcasted and shown here.
How do you think world cinema will develop over the next 50 years?
World cinema will definitely develop a lot in the next 50 years because the interests are changing. I guess right now people are treating science fiction as fiction, but by 50 years, the fiction will actually be the reality. So those will be the everyday things that are going on, especially if the scientists are being able to conquer the other, say, the satellites like the moon or the planets, then who knows, you can actually watch films that are being held in the moon or in the planet, so that would be pretty cool, I guess.
Do you feel the film stars are overpaid for what they do?
Well, I don't think we can actually compare one profession over the other when it comes to payment. It's not like the film stars are just going in there and they're just doing like whatever they want to and they're being paid for it. It's not like that. A film star, when he becomes a film star, he has to go through countless screen tests. He has to make sure that his body is fit. He needs to have a complete routine for his skincare. He needs to work a lot. He needs to be fit, he needs to be beautiful, he needs to look like he's young and everything. So a film star is not becoming a film star overnight. He's working hard for it. So I think, yes, it is quite important for film stars to be paid. And there's another issue. A film star cannot be a film star forever. At one point, he has to retire, especially if it's not meeting the demands of the audience. He needs to retire. So how else is he going to pay for his future, benefit and betterment if he doesn't have a lot of savings? So a film star works for a limited amount of time, he earns a lot in that limited amount of time, and he saves a lot, and that's how he spends the rest of his life.
Thank you very much. Your test is over.